And welcome back to the Misfits of Drakkenheim. My name is Jasper the Disaster. I am once again the Dungeon Master. We'll start introducing our characters left to right and the gentlemen on our Discord, starting with
Donovan Von Kessel, the swashbuckler rogue.
Dash, the Gloomstalker Ranger / Rogue.
Felix Harper, the Inherent Mind Sorcerer.
and man on our Discord.
And Idris Ironwood, the Echo Knight Fighter Cleric.
Perfect. All right, where we left off last time was our party had come back from the Battle of Buckle Down Row, and had returned victorious. On their return to the garrison, Elias Drexel was waiting, which resulted in a clash between, not a physical clash, but a conflict between him and Donovan, as Donovan is a Von Kessel, and Elias Drexel was the head of his father's forces, Manfred, at the time of the Civil War. Elias, for various reasons, betrayed Manfred and Donovan's family and slew them, thinking he slew Donovan. And so it set up a dramatic reunion where Donovan decided against killing Elias Drexel for his crimes, but demoted him and therefore promoting Dash to Lord Commander of the Hooded Lanterns. But Elias Drexel will stay on with the Hooded Lanterns as in an advisory and formal role to serve Donovan as he goes to reclaim his rightful throne as the King of Drakkenheim. So a lot's been going on. It's kind of a word salad there, but I'm ready to kick this off. Where we're going to start this session at is we are in the courtyard of the garrison in front of the courtyard tree. There is a group of various Hooded Lanterns, Silver Order members. The Iron Helms are there as well, allies of both. And they are here to watch Dash officially be anointed as the Lord Commander of the Hooded Lanterns. Donovan will pin onto his chest the Lord Commander's seal, or Lord Commander's badge, excuse me, and that's kind of where we're taking it off. So the scene is you guys are standing on a platform, all of you four and Elias Drexel is standing off to the side, and the crowd is in front of you. It's about 100 people. You still have your men that have their duties to be on watch and missions, and the Silver Order have their duties and watch. But Donovan, I feel it'd be appropriate if you want to just say something brief or long, doesn't matter, about the new Lord Commander, and maybe then pass the hypothetical, or metaphorical, mic to Dash. We'll kind of take it there. So you're on a platform, you're standing in front of these people. Oh, go ahead,
I was
Dash.
going to say, wouldn't it be probably ceremonious for the Lord Commander to say a few words and then hand the sigil to Donovan as he's stepping down?
Sure, you can do it either way.
And then he can say a few words and then pass it on to the new.
I'll let you guys decide. That's up to you.
I just want to make him say stuff too. On the spot.
I can talk all day. I literally do it for a living.
I can say something. I feel like I might not let him talk since it's kind of a punishment for him to step down. It's not really he's handing it over to you. It's I'm taking it from him and handing it to you.
Gotcha.
Cut him out of the.
I mean, if you want him to, I could have him
that's fine.
do it. But I feel like it fits more like he just was thrown out kind of a deal, I guess.
I just figured if he would say something in support of the decision, it would help with morale and such.
I guess we could play it as I've had a talk with him and...
Mm-hmm.
So that everyone kind of respects the decision.
Yeah. Okay, I see where you're coming from. Yeah. I guess, yeah, we could have him talk.
Make it look less like a hostile takeover and more
Yeah,
like
no, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, we could do that.
Okay. Yeah, so Elias Drexel's there, and he steps forward and addresses the crowd and goes, "Lanterns, it has been my honor and privilege to serve as your Lord Commander these last 2 decades. We have gone through trying times, the fall of a city, the loss of our beloved people. Today is a day where we are going in the direction of new leadership, where new ideas and a new foundation for a new order can be built upon. You all know Dash as a cunning and valiant warrior. He will make an excellent Lord Commander, and I will serve faithfully by his side to advise him to the utmost, the best of my abilities. It is with great honor that I succeed my position as Lord Commander to him." And he steps back.
That's almost more of a punishment, actually, to make him actually make a speech. Yeah, I kind of like that. I like it. Yeah.
And he kind of, so he steps to the crowd, kind of
Golf clap.
golf clap, and then he steps back. Donovan, would you like? You have this the Lord Commander's badge.
So he handed it to me.
Yep.
Essentially.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I'm just gonna step up. You all know Dash more than you know me, and I can think of no better man to take the lead of the Hooded Lanterns than Dash. Without further ado, I'll kind of pin it on him,
okay,
kind of unceremoniously, I guess. And then I'll just step aside and let him take the stage.
Dash steps forward and looks about at the familiar faces of his comrades.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of pauses for a moment. And he looks to everyone and says, "This week has been a very bittersweet week. We've lost many of our brothers. I've lost the closest thing to a father to me, as everyone probably knows, Dredge. And like him, a man of few words, often called the mumbler.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I take a lot of his characteristics in stride. I am not a talker, but just like him, my actions speak louder than words. I hope that I can serve the Lanterns as much as he did and serve them faithfully.
Mm-hmm.
I see a positive future ahead of us with our new king, Donovan, here, and I'm grateful that he has entrusted me with the leadership of all of you, and I'm sure most of you know me, and we will do everything we can to restore Drakkenheim to its former glory."
There's big cheers and yeah, the crowd stands up. Everybody cheers and which hey Dunk. She just heard the clap and came to me. Everybody cheers and he puts the sigil on your chest. Make sure that I don't know if you have that in your inventory yet, but you do want to put the Lord Commander's badge in your inventory because it is one of the 6 seals of Drakkenheim, which is a big deal.
Does it have any context by itself?
It does, and I will, when we step away from this scene, I'll fill you in. Okay? So, yes, the crowd, after some just general speaking and talking, kind of disperses amongst themselves. You guys have had a week now to rest up, restore. You've gotten some official reports in from the battle. Reports are now coming to you directly. Sten has been the runner for you. Actually, no, Harry has been. Excuse me. Sten and Paul are still at the watchtower. Or the clock tower. And then, so Elias says, "Lord Commander." And he bows gracefully. No disdain. No disdain in his voice. No bitterness. He says, "If you like, I would care to share some information with you as pertains to your new role. I think that the king, his grace, and your comrades would benefit from some information that I could share with you.
I reach my hand out to former Lord Commander, and I'm like, I've always had the utmost respect for you, and regardless of your history with our king, I still respect you, and I look forward to your tutelage and training me to be the best Lord Commander.
He sticks his hand out, shakes your hand. There's some grace and humility in the tone of his voice. He says, "Thank you. I just look forward to the opportunity to serve and to see the city restored now that we have a rightful Von Kessel back in Drakkenheim." Oh. With that said, do you guys go back to like the Lord Commander's tower, or kind of Lord Commander's apartment? Okay.
I would say so, yeah.
Andrew, do you want to say anything at this point? I just don't want to leave you or Idris.
No, I mean, I guess just in setting up before the week went by, talking with our king here and Dash about possibly training some of those guys for medical purposes and the lack of kind of our on the field healing ability and large scale encounters like that. But that's it.
I would say we would have given him free reign to train people for over the past week.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna deny that's
Yeah.
very useful information to have. Especially more people that are capable of helping our wounded means fewer deaths on the battlefield.
Agreed.
I'm
And so,
assuming,
yeah, the way I would explain it to you guys is that, like, mechanically, I'd like to be training them through the process of maybe gaining, like, proficiency in medicine, and then over months of training, potentially the healer feat in a group of whatever size guys, you know what I mean, we think is appropriate, and we can work out the number at a date. But
Like
whatever-
one out of every
whatever our
20 or
gracious
30 or something,
God
maybe
thinks
as
is
a healer.
right. I need all of the troops to be healing troops, actually.
We just
Every
need medics.
single one!
We
Put down
just
your
need
bows.
medics.
It's an army of never dying people.
Heroes
I
never
mean,
die.
anyone who has the aptitude to learn medicine and healing, I strongly encourage them to learn.
Yeah, so I'd say I'd probably like put out a call and I make a speech to some dudes, you know what I mean, out in the courtyard, and I'm like using thaumaturgy to just kind of like put on a show to get some people interested in signing up for the Order of the Healing Blade.
Roll me a d20, Idris.
I was gonna say you could start a campaign for like can't shoot for shit. Pick up a healer's kit.
Do you have stormtrooper aim? Oh, no, I got a 6.
You got a 6? 6? Yeah. So 6 hooded lanterns originally approach you. This doesn't mean that there'll only be 6, but you make your announcement there. Yeah, so 6 hooded lanterns. You call out, half a dozen men approach you with varying degrees of interest in learning the practice of healing medicine. And being able to
set up like a day a week or 2, you know what I mean? In that first week, while I've got free time, we do a full crash course, but I'm, just as we go forward, I'm dedicating a day or 2 a week as we have the time to kind of study with these guys and get them learned up.
Also, if he ever has to miss,
information.
we got our excuse for him.
Oh, right,
He's just off training hooded lanterns.
Idris, I'm going to have you, just because I've got enough on my plate with DMing, if you can kind of keep track of the amount of guys that you recruit over the duration of the campaign and train, and with
I'll just write it on my feet, man.
The Healing Blade, is that what you wanted to call it?
I really like that.
Yeah.
The Order of the Healing Blade.
The Order of the Healing Blade, which is a subsidiary of the Hooded Lanterns. Correct. Like, it wouldn't be its own.
Indeed.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a.
No, it's not its own thing. It's a regiment inside of the Hooded Lanterns.
Okay.
And essentially, my goal, as I explained it, is to set up something going forward in the future for the military of Drakkenheim.
Sweet. Yeah, that works. So yeah, and we'll do like other encounters, not encounters, but other like social events like this. If you want to do some recruiting or something, we could set something up off game to where we roll just like that. You roll we go to a big social event, you roll a D20 when doing some recruiting, and based off the D20, and And it'll be a die. So if you're like at a small gathering and there's only 20 people there, I might have you roll a d6.
Or if there's hundreds.
Yeah, then I'll have you maybe
like
roll
a D100 or
Yeah,
something.
I'll have you roll something like that.
I like it.
Right.
No doubt, no doubt. That sounds great.
Yeah. So, but in this setting, I felt out of 100 people, a d20 felt appropriate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't feel weird at all. That's honestly more than more than I was actually expecting.
So you can start training half a dozen men to be combat medics. Cool.
That's really cool. I like that.
And now I want to come to Felix because we just haven't given you a real chance to talk yet. Anything you want to be doing that maybe you have done this last week?
So I was actually thinking, instead of getting the Amethyst Academy in here, because I don't know what our relationship with them is standing right now, there's a druid here, right?
Yeah, Woodrow, nicknamed Woody.
I would say, as like the only other really innate magic user here, I probably would have introduced myself and maybe poured with them over. I mean, I know wheelhouse, nature, druid probably doesn't, obviously he's more nature focused. I'm kind of innate magic, so neither of us are really like great at deciphering like notes, but we're kind of like what's here right now. So I'd say the two of us have been stumbling through trying to like decipher these like Oscar's notes and these.
And just to clarify, so Woody is a druid. He has like a little small separate shack here in the garrison grounds. He is kind of the by what do you call that? Deferred sacred flame. So he's a druid and he is of nature. He is a kind of de facto flame keeper. He doesn't follow all like the strict religious practices that the flame keepers do.
So as far like Silver Order or Falling Fire?
So falling fire, or not falling fire, sacred flame. So the Silver Order is the military arm of the sacred flame.
So he is not a Silver Order combatant, but
no.
he does follow the flame.
Yeah, so he's a member of the Hooded Lanterns. So he's like a priest the Hooded Lanterns have, and the main religion is the sacred flame.
I think.
Just so you know, that wasn't really pertained to what you said, but yeah.
Totally fine. I think I've probably actually spent a large portion of the time with Woody in his hut. One, going over notes, and two, like, Felix isn't used to being, like, in one place for a long period of time. Also, I think I talked to you about some of the issues that he's been, like, sort of kind of, like, not bad, but I think he's starting to, like, suffer some side effects. Not bad. He's having trouble sleeping.
Right.
He's,
Right.
He's not doing terrible, but I think maybe druids are a little better at, like, I think you have some herbs and, like, so I think I've sort of gone through a little bit of, like, self-isolation with Woody.
Are you proficient in Arcana?
Mm,
What are you proficient when it comes to magic?
I am actually proficient in Arcana.
Give me an Arcana check rolled with advantage.
Oh, 23.
Nice. So you and Woody working together in his hut, and you've been drinking some herbal tea for your ailments. And this is probably noticeable by some of your other members. Now they've had a lot going on, becoming the king and the Lord Commander, and we've got, training a cult of healers. That was just a subtle jab at you. Meant to be fun. I know it's not a cult. They've noticed probably your restlessness. But you have made good works. You are starting to begin to comprehend how Aqua Experto, is made. You couldn't make a vial yet, but you're starting to understand the ingredients that are made, and it's very... Opportunity, sorry.
Sorry. I thought I muted myself. My bad.
Oh, that's all right. You're starting to understand that the delirium, the Eldritch Lilies are very important.
Okay.
And that's going to be a thing here in just a moment. With that said, anything else?
I was just going to say, like, can you give me just a quick description of Woody? Because we haven't really got to interact with him, or at least I haven't this campaign.
Woody's like this, so he walks around with a stick. He's an old guy. He's got a long gray beard. He's about 5'10", long gray shaggy hair. He wears like a a very simple clothing, nothing fancy. He doesn't bathe regularly, so he's a little stanky. But he's very friendly, very out. He's very not necessarily outgoing, but just a friendly person, and he just believes in the sacred flame. He believes that nature is a way to connect with the flame. All goes back to the fire at the end of the day. Fire brings life. Um, and he goes through the notes with you during your time, and you kind of like share homework, right? Like you share notes, and you're just like going back and forth. And he's very friendly. He's outgoing with you. He's very helpful.
Do I get the feeling that I trust him pretty?
Yeah, I would say that there's a friendship budding there.
I think I want to leave the notes with him because we obviously do weird stuff a lot, and I don't want to like have all of our research fall into like lava or something.
Yeah, I think that you would feel confident leaving. Woody has been with the lanterns for as long as Dash can remember.
Okay.
So he's a trusted confidant.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the research with him then. That's it for me.
Cool. So, where are we gonna go with this? As you guys go up to the Lord Commander's towers, which are now your towers, Elias Drexel has a separate apartment still in the tower, so it's an apartment. So he has his own separate place. So it would have been like where Drudge used to sleep. You guys go up to the main table, and I'll just pull this up here. Let me go. What, she let one rip?
Oh, yeah.
Good girl. Control. A. Alright, and then let me go here.
Actually, there's an odd request.
What's up?
Can the Lord Commander just keep his current quarters, and I'll take Drudge's old quarters?
Sure. Yeah, if that's what you want. I mean, the Lord Commander's is more spacious. There's, like, more room for meetings and stuff, but yeah, that's cool. I don't give a shit. Yeah. I'm just gonna use this because I have this map available. Oh, I already got you guys on here. Cool. So, I guess I gotta move you, don't I? Sorry, Idris, give me just a second. Alright.
I just didn't want to clear out Drudge's place.
You like to have the remnants there. Yeah. Who is missing here? Oh, Felix, that's my name.
Here's what.
Here's well. So the Lord Commander and Ansel and Petra are with you guys here if you want them to be. If not, they can be gone.
They might as well be here.
Okay, cool. So he goes talking about you. He goes, so
What have they been up to this last week?
helping people. They've been helping the men recover. Just doing regular watch patrols. They do have news for you. That's why they're here. About the men they sent. About the news about the men they sent to the Queen's Park Garden.
I also want to use them as kind of my go-between for the Silver Order, since one of them had a working relationship there, and then the other one for the Amethyst Academy.
Petra. So Petra is Silver Order. Ansel is Academy.
Easy to remember.
Yep. Elias goes, Your Grace, Lord Commander, I have here our books, money books, for you. As I mentioned last week at Drudge's funeral, that while his move to secure a working relationship with the Iron Helms was not something I would have advised, and there was a reason I hadn't done it because of war, it has made our coffers very full. The fullest they've ever been since the fall. He goes, if you look here, you will regularly see we have taken several payments. We take weekly payments for our protection, and we're receiving 1,500 gold pieces a week from the Iron Helms. That's that's what they say is a 10% cut of their profits. Now, if they're making more or less, it's an honesty thing. We have to trust our partners. And now you do as you wish, of course, but just let you know that money is coming in. Also, official battle reports we lost 23 men at the Battle of the Buckle Down Row. On my recruiting trip, I was able to bring in 17. So we're roughly, at any given time, 250 fighting men.
Here goes.
Go ahead.
where does that money put us in terms of ability to recruit new blood?
That's what I will leave in the Lord Commander's hands, but I think that it could be well spent on outreach campaigns to local dukes and duchesses, um, in persuading them to send maybe more skilled fighters our way instead of recruiting not so skilled fighters.
Do you think we could do a campaign
I
with a new
see.
king as the face, as a way of inspiring hope?
I do. I also am concerned some of my ventures have led me to believe that some of the dukes and duchesses around the countryside of Westamar and the various towns have enjoyed the autonomy of not reporting to a hierarchy. Some of them have yearned for the monarchy to be restored. I think we obviously start with the friendly first and gently, or maybe not so gently, remind the not so friendlies as to who is the rightful king.
I can agree with that. Definitely greater numbers will help with motivating the other dukes and duchesses to get in line. So if we could show them that we have various other noblemen and women that are part of our support, I'm sure the others will follow suit, or else they risk a war.
Agreed. And conflict is the last. The one thing I would say, Commander, is that the barracks are very full. As you know, the haze is very strenuous on troops, and the Lord Commander's tower barracks below ground are able to accommodate the men that we have now. Increasing our forces by a healthy amount would require us, if we wanted to keep them in the city proper, would require us to find other places that the haze has not yet affected.
Throughout our travels, we have stumbled across several places devoid of the haze. We could begin a campaign for maybe outposts or smaller garrisons scattered throughout the city.
Those locations haven't been in the city though, right? Those have been outer city locations, right?
You've met two places, well, three.
I was going to turn to Cornelius. Do you mind if I divulge information regarding your personal safe space?
Well, that one's
Oh
already
no,
been.
we already
Okay.
yeah, we already have that as a part. But I guess I don't know
But
if
how
we've
many?
entered that conversation since we've made this transition with the Lord Commander here. So maybe it's worth mentioning to him to see what he thinks about it. Hey, but I got a clock tower. I got kicked out by a pretty racist bird lady, and then we went and we took it back. And you know what's mine is it's the good king's here as well.
How many troops do you think
He was
that clock tower
instrumental in helping.
About how many troops do you think we could comfortably sleep in the top of the tower outside of the haze? Probably about 6.
I think there's a couple levels above the haze, so it's hard to say. I'd have to actually, off the top of my head, let me think about it real quick. So what do I?
No.
How many levels are above the haze there?
Just the top level is where you can keep, is where we can keep. So that this has been discussed prior. If it's been forgotten, no big deal. But
My bad. Yeah, you're good.
no, the very top level is where you can rest people for a long rest, and it can tidy quarters, very tidy quarters. 6. You can keep 6 men there at one time.
And we could probably have 6 people there at once. Maybe we set something up on the roof. We get some builders, you know, there's more room going into the sky. We just keep going up, build up.
We could also take a page from the Silver Order's book and throughout strategic corners of the city, set up outposts directly outside of the haze for like quicker reactions on the outskirts.
Are there other garrisons that we could potentially explore that may have lower bunker areas that would be outside the haze?
Chapel had catacombs beneath the earth.
Oh, that's true.
That
we
were without haze.
That's a setting up operations in a catacomb is almost asking for divine tribulation, if you know what I mean.
Well, we already kind of got that. I think the keepers weren't happy and we destroyed them, so probably ours for the taking.
We also still have. We never explored the passageway under the tavern that rumored to go to the marketplace, which is where the clock tower is. That would be very useful. So we may need to explore that.
I'm trying not to talk. You guys are doing really good, so I'm not
So,
going to talk.
so the garrison is connected to a gate, right? Are there any other unclaimed gates that might have similar fortifications?
Yeah, that was what I was bringing up. Is other garrisons that may have bunkers that are below the haze.
Yes.
We'll look at the map real quick.
Map Drakkenheim. Alright, let me get it so we can actually see it. There we go. Okay.
What about the mages?
So
tower?
ours is 5, right?
Yep.
Is there another garrison around?
Not a garrison.
Or another gate that would have one? Who occupies that? We don't have any reports or anything.
Are you asking Elias Drexler or are you asking me?
Yes.
Okay, so Elias Drexler says reports are mixed. But from what I understand, there are some trolls that hold that gate. And they always ask in a very hideous voice for the men that we've sent there. They say, "You have to pay the troll toll to get through the gate."
If I recall from reports, that is closest gate towards where those flowers are located, correct?
Indeed.
That would be a very good strong
What
point
is
to
a
hold.
troll toll?
We don't know. None of our men have ever came back. Well, one of them did. That's how they told us about the troll toll.
So one guy has made it back from this gate? That sounds like a huge red flag.
Yes, and until recently, with this income of money, with the various encounters that we've been trying to deal with the gnolls and the whites, or the dredges, we haven't been able to allocate resources, and the Queen's men, of course, we haven't been able to justify allocating the resources to take that gate. If you felt it was necessary to do so, I could definitely understand wanting to do so.
Well, I think it's the closest
Do we
gate
think
to.
it could...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's the closest gate to our current position, and we can travel across on top of the tower, or along the wall to get to it. And then also it puts us in a very strategic location to watch over the flowers needed for Aqua Aspergo. So it might be a very critical point for us to consider.
Yeah, agreed. The Eldritch Lilies, I did not... Petra and Ansel have caught me up on much in this last week. And I did not realize that the Eldritch Lilies that grow there had such an effect. To be honest with you, I thought I've heard of them, and reports have come back through various travelers of their being there, but I thought that they were just contaminated flowers that would cause contamination and mutation. So I told my men to not go there.
That's fair. How could you have known?
I am no scientist. I am a simple man, a simple warrior. Give me blades, give me men, give me a field of battle. Books are not my strong point.
I second that.
And just to confirm, 12 is the clock tower, right?
Yep.
So if we could have a patrol be able to station there, that would give us a heads up of anyone moving towards us. If we could establish gate 1, that would put us the next closest to our current garrison. So it'd be pretty easy to move troops back and forth as needed.
That whole northwestern part of the city would be
And then
pretty easily controllable.
And with Oscar out of the way, we could also take over part of his facility that he was using up there, one of the old
the manor
mansions.
up there.
Yeah, and that was outside the haze.
Was that 7?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Was that? Yeah.
So that would give us kind of control of this whole area, and establish kind of a network. Where was the tavern again
Give
on
us
this
some
map?
storehouses and some places for people to rest and recover and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't see the map, Felix or Idris.
Oh, let me do the Discord thing. Hold on.
Oh, to share the screen. Yeah, that would be.
Windows.
Did you get it?
No, go back.
Oh, sorry.
Click on above Windows. Oh, I guess entire screen would also do it.
I think
too.
you have to press share as well.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me go window.
But if you do by window, you could select Chrome specifically.
Alright, and
Share.
go share. Can you see this?
Alright, it's loading up for me.
Okay, cool.
Yep, I'm on it.
Okay, so 7 is here. Now, 7, to correct you just slightly, 7 is not out of the haze.
Oh, I thought it was.
It is, there's less of a you only had to make a con save of 5. What are you about 7?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, unless you nat 1 to, any mods, like, you were gonna fail. But otherwise, you were gonna pass. So that wasn't out of the haze, but it is.
Okay.
You could definitely take a short. It would be a strategic position to have.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
It would also get us another point getting closer to Castle Drakkenheim.
Agreed.
Draken, because that's kind of what we're working towards.
Great. These are rockies and stuff, though. Just so you know, it's up on a hill, a mountain.
Yeah.
But someone's got the boots spider climb.
They do.
That does not matter.
I do.
Where was the tavern on this map again?
Was that 2? The Black Ivory Inn? It was
Legendary
not.
names,
That's
'cause I
King's.
always forget stuff.
I think it was. I think we have a go over.
Or was it in the spokes?
Where was the Black Ivory? I'm trying to go down a little bit.
17.
Up top.
Oh, I was close.
Yep.
Right next to 2.
Remember, the Queen claimed it in their
Yeah.
encounter.
And rumor has it has a passage, an old smuggling passage that goes to the marketplace there at, 16?
Yes.
I think that's
Let me look at something real quick. 2 Kings.
15.
So which? I'm trying to remember where the garrison is on this map again.
Our garrison?
Yeah, like we're right now.
We're number 5.
5. Okay.
No,
That's
5 is the Shepherd's Gate.
I
So
thought
that's what you hold. 9's the garrison.
Oh,
Okay,
9's
gotcha,
gotcha.
gotcha. Right
yeah,
next
that's,
to each
but
other.
that's our gate, right?
Got
Yep.
it. Okay.
Yep.
And so which one is the gate that we're thinking about claiming?
Number one.
The Troll Toll.
Number 1. Oh, yeah.
Just above it.
That whole section could be ours after that. Sweet.
And we can travel between the gates on top of the wall. We can take control of that.
He
Well,
goes.
that sounds like a no-brainer in the step towards getting those Eldritch Lilies, right?
He goes, Lord Commander. Right, and yes, to answer your question, I don't mean to just walk over you. Just Lord Commander. 2 things that you should know is one. If you don't already know this, I think that you should. No one really knows what's going on at King's Gate. You asked about the gates.
Yes.
At Champion's Way Gate, number 3. That is held by Lucretia Matthias and her cronies of the Falling Fire.
I mean, that makes sense. They want to be closest to the crater.
The Temple Gate,
Silver Order.
the Silver Order want this gate.
Oh, they don't have it.
The Knolls control this gate, led by a beast called the Lord of the Feast. He is a gigantic...
Oh, Lord.
The Lord of the Feast, he calls himself. He is a gigantic gnoll. I believe he is some sort of demon dog from the 9 hells. He is a monstrosity. The Silver Order have spoken to me before about wanting to take this gate and purge the city of that foul beast. It would be quite a challenge.
Perhaps we can work out an arrangement. Maybe the Silver Order can assist us with taking Gate 1. In exchange, we help them take Gate 4.
They did help us. Go ahead, Sir Idris.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, I don't know about, how does everyone feel about the Order claiming a gate to the city? That doesn't really,
I was thinking it would be in our best interest if our immediate resources held control to the city, especially Gate 3, would be incredibly important.
Here's my thought process: we don't have the manpower or the resources to hold all the gates as the lanterns. So, I think having a good working relationship with the Silver Order can help us establish some of the other gates and show our commitment to a positive relationship by allowing them to have their own gate. And of course, still allowing them to use our gate as needed. It's the only way to move forward with our relationship.
But will we, if we did make a promise to Lucretia at one point, how are we planning to honor that promise?
Well, at this point, no one can really operate at Gate 3. It's way too close to the crater. The effects of the contamination is just going to be too great for anyone to hold that. Other than, however, the Fallen Fire have found a way to survive in the contamination, it could be valuable information to try to work with them to figure out how they're doing so. And maybe they have a better understanding of the delirium. I know that goes against what the Silver Order want. They want to destroy all the delirium, but I think the only way we're going to be able to cleanse the city is to understand it. And just destroying it, I don't even know if that destroys the full effect. Do they actually have a method to destroy the effect of delirium, or are they just crushing it down to where it's smaller particles that still have effect?
I don't know, Commander. That is a meeting with this Lucretia Matthias may be beneficial to understanding their methods. I have not spoken with her myself. She has kept a noticeably wary distance from me.
We've only had one chance encounter, and not much information was pulled from that. So it would be nice to meet with her again to maybe have a more detailed dialogue.
We should set that up.
I can send a raven. Oh, go ahead.
I guess my concern is that I know we don't have the manpower now, but we're blossoming in our resources, so to speak. I just don't know that giving them sole control of a gate puts us tactically in a safe place. We don't know really. Like this isn't a alliance now, but the Silver Order and the Illyrians aren't the Sacred Flame. They're beholden to Illyria. You know what I mean? If Illyria decides it's in their best interest to do something, that's the move they're gonna make. I don't mean that we take sole ownership of it, but I think maybe a joint custody type thing might
Split
be
the
a little
baby, if you
safer for
will.
us. So we can't be we can't be bogarted in a sense out of what is essentially our duty once we have the manpower to put our weight behind it, so to speak. I'm just concerned. I'm concerned about Illyria. I follow the flame, but I really don't see much difference between a sorcerer king and a holy monarchy. You know what I mean? A theocracy. They sound like two heads of the same coin to me, and I think giving them too much power in any given situation could prove
That would
problematic for us.
That would also essentially be giving a foreign power access to what we intend to turn back into its own head of state, so to speak.
I think definitely we should work with them and continue to foster that relationship, but I don't know if giving up an entire gate to their control, maybe we help them take that, and that gives us a little bit more time to prepare again to take the next gate at number 5.
I feel we are getting ahead of
The
ourselves.
other one.
I definitely missed a key important, like, when I left, the Falling Fire wasn't included, and now they are.
They're talking about gate. So gate number 3, Champions Way Gate.
Okay.
That's held by Lucretia Matthias and her cronies. They have a camp here at a local chapel.
We were talking about taking it.
We discussed about we eventually want to try to secure all the gates. We don't know what's going on at number 2.
Nobody does. Yep.
I would have.
You mean number 1?
No, number 2's in the top right.
Number
Oh,
one's the
because
troll
number
gate.
1's the troll one. We know what that's.
And that's
Okay.
really close to where we are. So that one would probably be the easiest one for us to control next, and it would put us closest to our those lilies
Yeah.
because they're at the Queen's Plaza Garden.
I think we focus on that one because then that entire northwest quadrant from
And
the
we can
clock
also-
tower to 1 to 5, that little pie slice.
We can also branch out to Oscar's old place. And
Yeah,
use that
and
as
then that's even
potential-
more.
Yeah.
And then, did we discuss 4?
4 is one that the Silver Order
The
wanted.
Knolls.
but-
You missed this? The Knolls.
I missed
control.
that one too then.
So he said the last charts was said
Man, a
that
lot went on when I was peeing.
the Knolls control. Yeah, we should have stopped. My bad.
No, it's
The
fine.
Knolls control Temple Gate, and they are led by this beast that's called the Lord of the Feast. He is
Lord
a
of the Feast.
gigantic knoll that Ash Drexel believes is a demon of some sort from the 9 hells. He carries a gigantic longbow and a sword that's as long as a man.
Okay.
Wait, it's a demon, and my axe starts to glow.
You might want to keep that axe handy, Sir Idris. I have seen a glimpse of this Lord of the Feast, and it is the foulest creature I've seen with my own 2 eyes.
Okay. So we got Hooded Lanterns number 5, 1's Trolls, 4 is the Knolls, 3 is the Falling Fire, and 2 it's kind of
no one
unknown.
really knows, but given the fact that the Queensmen control 17, which is the tavern, and that underground, which is rumored to go to the marketplace, they may have number
Would
2.
not be
Maybe
out of
that's
the
why
question.
Buckle Down Row was. This is just an assumption. But given the close proximity, I can see why she would want that access to that
Okay.
underground path.
He goes, Lord Commander, there are one other main piece of news that I would like to share with you. Petra has told me the men that you sent to go protect the Eldritch Lilies, none came back. So Petra and Ansel went to find them. 3 of the 4 were not to be found at all, besides a loose cloak of a lantern. And one of the men was unmistakably turned into some contaminated sludge monster. The way we know this is a pile of gooping sludge of radiation and contamination on the ground. The way we know this is we have the men put their initials inside their boots, and Petra was able to poke around with her sword, and it is initial of one of our men. I think that those Eldritch Lilies, from what we've talked about, are very valuable to find. I don't know if your group, who has shown much grace and adeptitude in battle, would like to go inspect yourselves. Nudge from the DM. Nudge from the DM.
You said he was turned and that there were puddles of ooze found on the scene.
That it seemed like his body had been turned into a contaminated sludge.
There was no medical equipment found in the vicinity, was there?
Not that Ansel or Petra reported. Ansel and Petra just said no. Got further there. They just said no.
Yeah.
The other 3, no part of them was found, but the 4th is just a sludge pile.
Okay.
Should we pause so that
Pause, yeah. Hit
interrupt.
the pause button.
Should I stop it or pause?
Hit this one. Okay. And we're back.
Alright, let's draw up plans to scout and potentially try to take Gate 1. I think that's one of our next steps. As for our party, we're going to inspect the lilies to see what's going on there.
Instructor says, I can, if your grace and the Lord Commander wish to take your compadres, Felix and Idris, to the Queen's Park Garden, it would be my great honor to hold command while you are away, and of course relinquish it immediately upon your return. There always has to be an acting commander at the garrison.
I think of no one better to lead the command here while I'm away.
You honor me.
And you said you would send a raven to Lucretia.
Yes, would you like that, your highness, your grace, your royalship? Yeah, stroke it a little bit harder.
Why were we ravening that wench?
Because she holds gate 3.
And they want to know how.
How they're able to
Yeah,
survive.
because that is right next to
Their
the
evil
crater.
delirium magic.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well,
But if we can harness that, we may be able to get close enough to basically do away with the haze.
So you just wish to know Lucretia's methods, not necessarily barter a truce.
For the time, all I really promised her was that her and her followers would be able to operate in peace.
You promised her two things. One is that at some point you'd give her the scepter back.
Oh, yeah.
Two is that upon your rule, her followers would have a safe place to worship.
hold on.
Essentially.
The scepter that is one of the 6?
No, it's not.
It's not?
No, it's one of Saint Vitruvio's.
Oh, okay.
It's like a relic.
Okay,
thing.
it's not one of the 6
Yeah.
key.
So that's going to cause
the Silver Order.
to be pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we were going to die.
Also,
We were gonna die.
I was going to say, we can't forget that she was holding us at gunpoint,
Right, it's
essentially,
kinda-
at-
It was agreement under duress.
I will say, yeah, agreement under duresses are more easily broken in from a honor standpoint because we really didn't have much of a choice. But also, if we do break that, we're gonna incur the wrath of them pretty unmistakably. So
Well, and I'm not intending to break it, but in my opinion, that's not my staff to give away anymore because I've given it to the Silver Order.
yeah, if you want it, you can go get it.
So, in terms of that,
I didn't think about it until now, but the Silver Order brought it up. Do we have, are any of these rooms covered against magical intrusion?
I have no idea.
No. The only
Does Elias
mage
know?
here the only mage here is the druid, and I don't think
The Lord Commander, our previous Lord Commander, the Lord Commander's chambers are protected against a scrying spell.
I was going to say, you mentioned that in one of our previous meetings, and because you said, let's take this meeting to the Lord Commander's chambers.
Yep. The Lord Commander's chamber is protected, but not the grounds and not the tower.
And Drudge's chamber.
No. So if you wanted that, you need somebody to do that.
I don't talk to myself in my...
Okay.
So meetings in here from now on.
Exactly.
Right, only in...
Because I'm assuming the Lord Commander's,
sweet.
chambers itself, where he sleeps and stuff, is separate from the meeting space, right?
Yeah, it's like a door, just like a door like that.
Yeah.
You walk into the bedroom.
So I can
Kinda like
access
the
the
living
meeting
room.
space anytime without, trespassing upon his sleeping space or whatever, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm fine with sleeping in Drudge's, and he can have his room still. I don't care. I don't need big space.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just think of it like an apartment, you know what I mean? Like, you just walk in, there's the living room, and then back further is the bedroom, and the bathroom, and all that stuff. Kitchen.
I mean, I don't really need a lot of space, so
Okay.
let the Lord Commander have his room if he wants it. I don't care. That, and I like the idea of being in Drudge's old space, so...
Indeed. So, Lord Commander goes, so, when will you depart for the Queen's Park Garden?
What time of day is it right now?
It's coming close to... You would not want to go out now. You want to go out
so
in the
it's
morning.
getting closer to the evening.
Mhm.
Probably at dawn.
Then I shall...
If the king agrees.
Mm-hmm.
I shall send a raven. Oh, how could I forget? This is the other thing I did want to mention. During this last week, word has gotten out around not only the countryside, but the neighboring countries of our king. I have been approached today. Or sorry, he meant to bring this up to you earlier. Maybe say he did. A meeting between factions we look to work with needs to be arranged. The Knight Commander, Theogood Marshall of the Silver Order, is on his way and will be here within 2 days. You would know him. He's a fabled warrior. And the acting one of the council members, Eldritch Runeweaver of the Amethyst Academy, shall also be here within the next 2 or 3 days. A meeting is sought by both parties with the Lord Commander present to discuss the future plans of Drakkenheim.
Do we have a spot? Maybe neutral ground in Emberwood Village?
It'll be up to you, Your Grace.
Are they willing to meet here?
Yeah, they are. I would say that the Amethyst Academy...
Where is the Amethyst Academy based out of? Do we know that information?
Nope, I'm sorry. No, we don't. They intentionally don't have a base here. The one thing is the Inscrutable Tower, which is always like looming over Drakkenheim, and that is, hold on.
That's where they used to operate out of.
Number 10.
So I would not know either.
No.
Okay.
So 10 is right there, the Inscrutable Tower.
That's really close by.
This is a huge ass tower that is cut in half.
Yeah.
Like the middle is
Still
gone,
floating.
and it's still floating in the air. The top side.
So it's like boom.
Part of the meteor
void,
went through it. Yeah,
and
this
then-
is like this was the Amethyst Academy's headquarters prior to the fall, and there was like a shitload of magic in that tower. And when the meteor went through it, it caused some like space-time warp, and it keeps the tower floating up above
Okay.
with a big chunk of the meteor in the middle.
What are your... So if we're going to have a meeting of the factions, should we include the Fallen Fire? That's going to cause some ruffled feathers.
If I may, your lord. Things will be tenuous, things will be tenuous the way that they are. I don't know if a meeting with the Falling Fire together would be the most productive meeting in the world. Maybe a separate meeting would be my advice, but please do as you wish.
No, I think we keep them off to the wayside until we need to deal with them.
Okay.
Honestly. The Silver Order, the Amethyst Academy. Is there anyone else coming?
That's just the three. Because the other two factions are the Queensmen and the Fallen Fire.
Yeah, so those
Obviously,
two have
we
shown.
want to destroy the Queensmen and the Fallen Fire. We'll cross that bridge later.
Yeah, no. I think 2 factions for this meeting is more than enough to deal with. That might get complicated enough on its own.
Yeah, it's set out for us, reining them both in from their idealistic goals.
Yeah, that's going to be a bear in and of itself. I think we keep this meeting to the Silver Order and the Amethyst Academy. Maybe.
We need power.
Were you about to talk, Idris?
Just say I wanted to make just a small remark. Like we need more power. The lanterns need more power.
Okay. With he says, with that, Your Grace and Council, I will be off making sure that watches are organized. We are still sending men to the smithy on the Scar and protecting the dwarves that mine it, that stay at the Red Lion Motel. That requires detail and men. Making sure our other patrols are up to date and that Garrison and Shepherd's Gate are properly fortified. I will leave you to your plans for the night. I will not likely see you on the morrow, but I will eagerly await your return. So good, everybody. Potty break.
Sorry to
Go for
interrupt.
it. What's up?
I actually just wanted to ask. So we only had two dudes at the clock tower, right? Stan and another gentleman.
Sten and Paul.
Um,
Yep.
with our sort of abundance of people right now, maybe we want to give them a full. Excuse me. Sorry, Jesus Christ.
Good.
A full group of five for the clock tower, just to make sure they're not getting evicted themselves. But also, I wanted to ask: had the Iron Helms been able to make their way to the clock tower to bolster its defenses, or not yet?
Elias Drexel says, Sir Idris, yes. I agree that at least a change of guard at the tower would be beneficial. If not, send just more men outright, and I can do so if the Lord Commander wishes. He goes, but yes, the Iron Helms were able to go there and fortify the door with a reinforced iron door to that was broken down previously. It sounds to me like they have mounted heavy crossbows on each side. We are skilled marksmen, so it is a benefit to have those, but not a necessity. There has been some additional armament that has been provided to protect anyone who stays up there, as well of a week's supply of food, fresh water, and ale that is kept up there. We are
All right, the ale's important.
we are still urinating and defecating over the side of the tower. We are working on the plumbing. Good sir.
Cool.
We haven't had any reports
Sounds in line then. Thank you. Just checking on the progress.
Speaking of the clock tower again, being so close to the marketplace, we haven't had any reports of Queensmen moving around about there, have we?
We've had two very minor skirmishes amongst the city. Random thieves and bandits we believe to be either outliers or members of the Queen's Men, but that is it.
Did we have a rough estimate of what size the Queen commanded, like what her army size was before, and like against how many were dead in Buckle Down Row?
She lost over 200 men in the battle, but no one truly knows the amount of men the Queen could summon at one given time.
Understood.
All right, potty break, everybody.